CAR form ETA, known as the extension of time addendum. This one-page form, which can be represented on behalf of the buyer or seller, so presented on behalf of the buyer's agent or listing agent, and it is a amendment to change a time frame in the original contract. So again, just on this first paragraph here, you'll see this is a proposal to amend the terms and conditions of the purchase agreement. And in this case, more than likely, it is going to be the time frame, whether it's the close of escrow date or you need to push back contingencies or whatever the case may be, this document is needed. So you'll find it in your zip forms, and when you pull it up, it automatically defaults to it's part of the purchase agreement. You also want to make sure that you have your original RPA dated here. You also need to have the property spelt out, the buyer and seller. Okay. So once that's completely filled out, you're going to have these 5 different options before buyer and seller sign. We need both signatures on here to be fully executed and agreed upon. And don't forget to send this form over to escrow and send it over to your loan officer as well, so everyone in the transaction is on the same page. So you will see that number 1, the most commonly used extension here would be the extension of escrow, the close of escrow date. So if you need to push back your escrow date to a certain date, you just go to number 1 and you'll put it in right here. Now, number 2 has to deal with the extension of the contingencies. The following contingencies, if checked, are extended to, and you'll want to put the date here. Okay, if the contracts are built in with 17-day contingencies, if you need to extend that, you'll put the date here and then check what box is appropriate, whether it's the buyer investigation of property condition, whether it's the loan contingency or other. You may check this if it needs to be the appraisal contingency. Number 3 here, other extensions, the time for, in case you need to extend the time for something not too common, such as maybe getting disclosures over. We need to get those over in 7 days, but if you needed more time for that, this is where you could possibly put that as well. Same with additional terms. If you needed to add anything, that would be number 4. And here, number 5, offer expiration. So again, we talked about this can be presented on behalf of the buyer or seller. So whichever one is checked, buyer or seller proposes this extension of time addendum, which may be withdrawn by the party initiating this proposed amendment at any time prior to acceptance, and which shall be deemed revoked unless by 5 p.m. on the 3rd day after it is signed by the initiating party. And it'll show the time there. So again, this is the ETA form, and if you do send it over, it can expire when you propose a date, or it is the 3rd day after it is signed. Okay, so this is the one-page form, ETA, and I'm sure you will be using it to control your escrows and keeping your escrows together.